Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Tanner and this is my Esoterica. Today we're going to be doing a timeless love reading for the sign of Cancer. So we're going to be looking at your energy, Cancer, as well as the person's energy you are connected to. Before we start, I did want to share a few downloads I had gotten over the past couple days in anticipation of this reading. Honestly, from what I was getting, I feel like you guys, whatever collective of Cancer I'm tapped into, you guys are going through it. So the first images I saw. So whenever I tap into all of these zodiac collectives, I get downloads and imagery of your mascots essentially doing stuff, and it gives me insight into what you all are sort of going through. So when I was tapping into the Cancer collective, I saw an image of a crab, right? And then the first thing I saw was like it was really just focused on one crab, but you guys were fighting claw to claw essentially with another crab, but it was focused on you. I couldn't really see the other crab, but I could see that you guys were sort of just like fighting against it. And then I also got this imagery of the crab kind of like blowing bubbles, and that made me think of, I'm really outing myself as a nerd here, but in Pokemon, so if Pokemon may be symbolic or relevant for you in some way, I don't know, I just trust the messages that come. But anyway, in the Pokédex entry for the Pokemon Krabby, I remember, from the olden days, that it said that Krabbies would blow bubbles to when they felt threatened or like a predator was doing too much. I googled this as well. Crabs do blow bubbles a lot of the time. It's when they're coming out of the water and because they need to like breathe, and the bubbles help them do that. But real crabs in real life also do that when they feel threatened. So I feel like, yeah, you guys are sort of just kind of fighting for your lives when it comes to this connection. And what's also really interesting is like yesterday, which is like, I don't know, the day after I got these original downloads, I was scrolling on Reddit and I saw a post of a crab, there was a crab on Reddit. It was a video, I don't know, it was like mildly interesting or something like that. But this crab, they were on a beach and I think somebody had dug out like a trench or like a little moat, and they had put tea lights in there, and this crab had stolen one of the tea lights and it was holding it really, really close and like, just like clutching it really close. And there was another crab, but this crab would like scurry away from it and just like hold on to the light. So I feel like you guys are really trying to protect your inner light right now. I feel like you guys are kind of, again, maybe in a defensive state of being, like feeling like you're fighting for your lives. I really have no other way to phrase it. So you guys could be going through a rough time in your connections right now. If you resonate with that, we're gonna dive into your reading though. We're gonna start out with these archetype cards. I like to start out with these to get just sort of like just an overall vibe of the reading. And I have shuffled every deck that we're gonna use here like 5 or 6 times. I do it until I get the tingle in my hand and Spirit's telling me to stop. So let's go ahead and jump into your reading. First, we're gonna see what's on the bottom of this deck. So let's take a look. We have the Bardo. So the Bardo is an interesting card. It's also in reverse here, which I'm sure is relevant. But the Bardo talks about being in a liminal space. It's like the space between life and death almost. So you guys could be sort of in the midst of an awakening, a rebirth of sorts. But with the Bardo in reverse here, it makes me feel like you're kind of trying to leave this liminal space. I'm gonna read it from the book before I get too ahead of myself here. This is letter L. So the bardo is the liminal, the in-between, and the transition. So yeah, it is said that the bardo is a place between this life and the next, a liminal realm through which souls pass. Envisioning this inherently mysterious place creates the potential for us to rise above the concerns of this world and see our relationships through a cosmic and timeless lens. We may receive messages from those who are no longer with us or see visions of lives not yet lived. So you guys could be very intuitive as water signs, you know, that tracks. In the bardo, there is potential to forgive the unforgivable, to say the unsaid, to see the unseen, to love the unloved, to let go of all the things that cause us pain. I feel like maybe you guys are having trouble releasing these things at the moment, which may be why I got that imagery of you guys sort of fighting for your lives a little bit. Maybe it's getting, and you guys were clinging to that light in that video I saw on Reddit. I believe, you know, synchronicities are real. So me seeing that video, I was like, this has got to be for the Cancer reading. So it says here that there's potential to let go of all the things that cause us pain. So maybe you're kind of still holding on to this pain a little bit, like you're not able to let it go. The bardo suspends us in its spaciousness for just long enough to open us to higher wisdom. Its energy does not belong to Earth as we know it, but rather to the cosmic network of which we are a single thread. And then when dark, which is how I interpret, you know, reversals in this deck, it says torment, dislocation, hallucination, and transience. So yeah, kind of going through an energy now. Let's see what's underneath here. The vow. Ooh. So the vow makes me think of obviously a promise. This dove makes me think of peace as well. You know what? I'm just going to read it from the book. Let me not even play here. We have apocalypsis peeking out here. Going through it. But the vow is number 54. I'm still getting used to these Roman numerals, but I am getting the hang of them. Okay, the vow. The promise, the oath, the contrast. When the vow is spoken, the air shifts. Karmic ties are formed. So you may be in a karmic connection or a connection you feel like is karmic. I mean, with that apocalypse peeking out, like this is like, yeah. Karmic ties are formed and destiny tilts on its axis. Our words and intentions have immense power. There's a reason the great mythic stories of our past often include the recitation of oaths and the mixing of drops of blood as a mark of union. The tricky part is that reciting the vow, no matter how casually, activates the eternal and unseen forces of the world. The ancestors bear witness. The laws of nature respond. These promises cannot be said or forgotten, so breaking them can leave lingering complexities and loose ends. This card calls us to acknowledge the vow we are living by, consciously or unconsciously, and either recommit to it or create a ritual that signifies its closure. You've been underestimating the power of your promises. So yeah, this makes me think you guys are involved in some sort of again, a karmic connection. Like the vow was activated, the tie was tied, and right now you guys are kind of in this liminal space of trying to let it go but not quite being able to yet. And again, with this apocalypsis, this is like total annihilation, right? So you could be going through a major sort of ego death moment. But let me look at apocalypsis as well. This is like the last section of the book. Apocalypsis, removing the veil of deception. Ooh. So maybe a truth got revealed to you guys in this connection, or something came to light that didn't sit right with you and made you realize that this connection, even though you wanted things to work, like I see these hands together, like, and if you look, this hand, there's like, it looks like two hands to me. I know it's kind of dark, but it looks like this hand is kind of like I can talk, grasping on to this other one, like not wanting to let it go, Like, it doesn't look to me like one set of hands praying. It looks like somebody is praying and somebody else is just like glommed onto them. So apocalypsis indicates a particularly painful time. What did I say? You guys are going through it, and I'm sorry, but hopefully this reading will help you. That's why I'm here. One that unfolds when two disparate dynamics occur simultaneously, pulling the psyche in seemingly opposing directions. The first is a lifting of the veil. This means truths that have been kept in the dark are revealed, seen, and unearthed. I feel like I just said that too, right? No matter how relieving it is to witness them come into the light, an element of despair and grief follows. So yeah, something came to light here that really kind of illuminated you, but kind of, again, broke you. The second dynamic is the regeneration that comes from the wreckage of the revealed truth. So there is still, I know you guys are still going through like kind of like the darkest aspects of this right now, but please remember that once you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. So, you know, relationships are learning experiences more than anything else, and they are meant to teach us about ourselves more than they're about the other person ultimately. I just felt like I needed to say that. But let's see. The old narrative breaks and a new story forms. Apocalypse's energy is similar to a forest fire's devastation for the sake of regeneration. Like that, the fighting that I saw between the two crabs, and then that crab holding on to its light still. Like, yes, this connection tested you. I see the comic starting to peek out here too. So you could be somebody who's very funny. But, you know, that crab was still holding on to the light even after, you know, whatever was going on in the video. But in terms of for this reading, like, that fighting, that destruction, that, you know, all of this was meant, for better or for worse, to kind of knock you down so you could rebuild yourself into a better, stronger version of yourself. The veil lifts and we see who and what has been hiding. From the nakedness of the truth, a child is born. Have faith in the process, Cancer. It doesn't say Cancer in the book, I'm telling you guys. Hold on to your center. Hold on to your light. That is the only way. So yeah, friends, I see, like I said, like my intuition was telling me, like my downloads are telling me, you guys are going through it in this connection. Kind of, again, caught in this liminal space between healing and feeling like death, I want to say. But again, all of this is happening for the sake of your growth, for the sake of your regeneration. Let's see what comes out for you guys. What card wants to come out for our Cancers? Thank you, Spirit, for the guidance so far. Can we please get a card for our Cancers for this situation? Whatever they need, whatever is most apt to their situation, please and thank you. Ooh. The Orphan. So this connection could have activated your abandonment wounds. 5's a card of challenge. We see the snake here. This child's trying to, or it looks like a child's hand, trying to reach for this. What is this, a flower? I cannot really tell. And the snake, this reminds me of sort of like the Ouroboros, which is, you know, the never-ending cycle of, you know, death and rebirth, essentially. But let's look at the Orphan. What's on the bottom, I wonder? Ah, Apocalypsis again. All right, so, you know, when Spirit says something, Spirit means it. I'll read The Orphan from the book as well. Number 5. The wounded child, the abandoned, the beggar. To study the excuse me. To study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. We are ever more connected, yet face collective isolation. The refugee crisis haunts our planet, children are separated from parents, and the earth begs for our attention. We are in a time of universal orphanage, of nature, of each other, of our own hearts. Take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. It is normal to fear this card, as it haunts the caverns of the soul. When it appears, take time, real time, to be in the presence, of the feelings this card stirs in you. Let it humble you. What are you starving for? What is the deepest gift you could imagine giving to others? What has been rejected is quite possibly what is most needed, dear one. And it sort of came out in reverse, and I don't want to not honor that. It says, when dark, distance, hates and avoids, controlling and limiting. So I feel like, you probably have some very strong feelings about this person, this connection. Maybe, hate's a strong word, but I'd certainly understand the vibe and the impulse to feel that way. But this card is asking you to take a closer look at these feelings, and really sit with them and examine them. I'm looking at some of the other things here. Here on the side, it says, tenderness beyond tenderness is required. Imagine holding yourself in your hands. To recognize that each one of us fears rejection and isolation is to take one step toward the orphan. More kindness always. So be kind to yourself during this time. Definitely, take some time to self-care. Take a bubble bath, read a book, be in something cozy. Watch a comforting TV show. Like, if you're going through this really crazy dark time, then it's gonna take a lot out of you, and the world already takes a lot out of us as it is day to day. So one, it's important to sit with these wounds that, again, we all have. Wounds of abandonment, feeling not chosen, feeling like maybe you're not wanted. All of these things, these are core childhood wounds, and for a lot of us, we go around thinking, that we've healed a lot of our wounds, but honestly, we've just sort of learned to live with them and sort of like managed to push them down enough that we feel numb to them until certain people come into our lives, certain relationship dynamics, karmic connections, soul ties, twin flames, all that hullabaloo. But all of these connections kind of rip up these wounds that have been buried so deep, so we can actually take the time to sit with them and reflect with them. And yes, it is painful. I'm speaking from personal experience in my own, soul tie situation. I had to go back into therapy over mine. So, this is a tough time, and it's gonna be tough for a minute. So cry if you need to, as much as you need to. Be with people who support you and love you and uplift you. 3 of Cups energy. And just be really gentle with yourself through this time, Cancer. I'm giving you a hug. But yeah, childhood wounds, abandonment wounds, mother-father wounds. Look into those if you haven't already, if you don't have an idea about these things, or if you only know so much. Knowledge is power, and the more you know and the more you can understand that people treat you not as a reflection of you. It's a reflection on them and where they're at. But clearly, you know, this person triggered some deep wounds in you, Cancer. And yeah, I'm sorry you're going through it. I'm sending you so much love, and I hope this reading helps. But yeah. All right, friends. We're going to move on to our next deck here. I like to use animal cards. So, again, shuffle all of these, but let's see what comes out for our Cancer spirit. Oops. The shark. Okay. And the earthworm. So you guys could be starting something new here. Whether that just be, well, actually, the earthworm in particular talks about a new kind of creative venture, or feeling like a novice at something, feeling like, you know, you'll never compare to someone else who, you know, has more experience or something. But saying that, you know, maybe somebody, you know, got involved into a third-party situation here, and maybe you find yourself comparing yourself to that other person, like, why wasn't I good enough? Or, you know, those sort of dark kind of mental spirals. Comparison is a thief of joy, is the first thing I want to say. And looking at this earthworm, like, the world around them looks so black and white, but there's so much color and beauty inside of it. You have so much color and beauty inside of you, Cancer. And just because this person took you for granted or couldn't see it in the way that you hoped they could, doesn't neglect all of the beauty that is still here. And then we have the shark. Ooh, and the sea serpent's peeking out underneath. But the shark talks about something kind of lurking underneath the surface, something that needs to be sort of brought to light here. For you, this could be about the childhood wounding. With the sea serpent here, this is like needing to heal your, how you express yourself, or like wounds around expressing yourself is what I want to say. The sea serpent is connected to the solar plexus, I believe. But yeah, she's all about, ooh, this looks like an eye. Blue eyes could be symbolic. But, and this also reminds me of the Ouroboros that we saw here. Oops. So I definitely feel like there's a sense of like a shedding of a skin happening for you, Cancer. But there's, again, it's an endless cycle of sort of death and rebirth. And it seems like, you know, right now you're at the toughest point of it, but there is, you know, light and beauty to come. You just have to keep on keeping on. You know what I'm saying? All right. What else do we have? Ooh, the cheetah. So this is divine masculine energy. This is all about, you know, taking action on the things that you want. So with that earthworm, or with this earthworm, it's still here, but if there is sort of a creative project or something, even if it's just something that you're trying to do to sort of distract yourself, and, you know, I'm not judging, honestly. I started diving into tarot myself to kind of distract myself from my own orphan, dark night of the soul, childhood, core wounds activated moment. But this is saying, you know, take action. Don't just sit around and, you know, compare yourself to others and feel like you'll never be good enough, because everyone who you look up to started where you are right now. And the only difference between you and them is that they didn't let their fear stop them. And I'm not saying, you know, you are necessarily, but the earthworm kind of gives a little bit of fear, or trepidation or apprehension about taking action, because they feel like, you know, they're not good enough. All right, let me do one more cut. I'm gonna shuffle and then I'm gonna do a cut. Okay, what else we got, Spirit, for our Cancers? The dragonfly. This came out for Taurus too, but the dragonfly is the master of the mind, illusions, and all of this stuff. But when the dragonfly comes up, it's asking us to look at the perception of our thoughts. So like, how are you choosing to look at this situation? Because that's going to really affect, you know, your vibes overall. Like if you're only focused on how much this person hurt you, you know, what they did, all the things they did wrong, or all the things you feel like you did wrong to contribute to this. But what did you learn? What have you learned from the situation about yourself? Maybe it's that you have abandonment wounds, or maybe I'm shedding light on that for you now a little bit. The perception of our thoughts. So what have you learned about yourself as a result of this situation? That's what the dragonfly is asking us to do here. Don't get kind of bogged down in the negativity. Look at the positives. You are turning into a stronger, more evolved version of yourself. And that's not something to be taken lightly. So let's see what comes out for you. A card for our Cancers, please, Spirit. For our Cancer collective. Our Cancer besties. Alright, what do we have for our Cancers? Animal Spirit card for our Cancers. You see how that one just flew out? Alright, let's see. The Horse. Ooh, I love this. So this is giving Chariot energy. I feel like you guys are very determined to move forward in whatever way, shape, or form that takes. Whether that is, you know, acting on that creative project that some of you may be working on, or just trying to overcome the negativity and the, you know, everything that's been triggered through this connection. Strong forward movement, overcoming obstacles. I feel like you guys are very intuitive as well. Again, as water signs, kind of a given. But yeah, horse energy, overcoming, not letting anything keep you down. Earth energy as well, so focusing on stability, focusing on the long term, trying to build up your pentacles maybe. Okay, so the orphan and the horse. The Horphin. Oh no. Don't censor me, YouTube. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna get these love oracle cards, and we're gonna just kind of zhuzh them up, shuffle through them, see what comes out in this connection. So what else has been going on in this connection for our Cancers? What do we need to know, Spirit, about this connection for our Cancers, or Cancer viewer? I'm just gonna go through and see what comes out. More about this connection, please, for our Cancers. I was like, nothing wants to come out, huh? Got running. So you could be dealing with a runner or somebody who's emotionally running and chasing. Oh my. So somebody here was definitely a runner. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry about that glare. Here, I'll put them over here. So we have runner and chaser here. So it's giving twin flame dynamic already, to be honest. So again, you could have been dealing with a runner, somebody who is emotionally avoidant, somebody who panics when somebody gets too close to them, and they pull away. Again, not because of anything that has to do with you and how you are showing up in this connection, but it has everything to do with them. However, we do have chasing here as well. So chasing does stem from childhood wounds, from fears of abandonment. It's overextending yourself, and in an attempt to kind of show how, I don't know, for me, it's like, I'm worth loving, look how much I can love you. But sometimes when you're dealing with somebody who's emotionally avoidant, they get really overwhelmed when, you know, and for us as chasers, you could resonate with being a divine feminine. Again, this is, well, I didn't say it, but I say it all the time. Divine feminine, divine masculine, these are energy polarities. They're not gender specific. So I'm not talking about gender. But chasers, when we get triggered, when our core wounds get triggered, we feel like we need to fill the gap when we realize our person is pulling away. So we, you know, send long text messages. We try to fill the space because we can feel them pulling away, and it triggers our wounds, our anxiety. Usually most runners are avoidantly attached, and most chasers are anxiously attached. So this connection could have triggered a running chasing dynamic, and again triggered your childhood wounds. What do we have on the bottom? Ooh, curse, hex, witchcraft, and negative mind. What were you just talking about with that dragonfly? Question the perception of your thoughts. How are you choosing to look at this situation? But yeah, you could feel like, you know, this is a cursed situation. And we have lusting here. Forbidden, non-committal running. But I feel like you do feel a strong, you know, sexual attraction, a physical attraction with this person. Does anything else want to come out, Spirit, for our Cancers, please? Anything else for our Cancers? And this dynamic for our Cancers, please. Ideally, I'd like 3 more. Ecstasy, chasing thrills, excitement, good times, stress, understandable. Ooh, divine feminine. What was I just talking about? Thanks, Spirit, for confirming all of my craziness. But yeah, so you could resonate with being a divine feminine. Chasing wounds, abandonment wounds. A mantra of the divine feminine is, I don't chase, I attract. The Empress. And obviously, you know, if you're still dealing with your wounds, it's hard to embody this. But again, all of this is triggering you in order to activate you so you can step into this divine feminine energy. That's beautiful. But yeah, ecstasy. I feel like this connection kind of gave you like a high. Maybe both of you guys. Like excitement. Like, look at all these colors, and like the world is just sort of like in this dreamlike state almost. So I feel like, you know, this connection certainly felt otherworldly, but wasn't without its stressful moments. Turbulence, tension, and arguments. So you guys could have gotten into a lot of arguments, or there just could have been emotional turbulence because of this running and chasing dynamic here. But again, this connection, I just said it, but I'll say it again, was meant to trigger you into stepping into your divine feminine energy. So learning strong boundaries, learning what you will and won't accept in relationships, what you need in relationships to feel secure, healing your chaser wounds. All of this is part of the twin flame journey, if you are resonating with that, or in just difficult karmic ties in general. So I want to put that out there. I just really wish I could do something about this glare. Move it's a little bit better. But okay, so very interesting so far. And we have breaking point on the bottom, limit, final straw, overwhelmed. So this connection certainly has pushed you to your breaking point, apocalypsis, you know, all that stuff we were seeing, and the stuff I was getting in my downloads. Intuition. So I feel like this was meant again to help you step into your power so you could develop your intuition here. You could also feel like maybe you guys had like a sort of telepathic bond here. Clinging. Yep, holding on, obsessed, and spying. So you may still be trying to keep an eye on this person, or they're keeping an eye on you still. But it's getting hard. It's hard for you to let it go completely. That's what that Bardo energy was sort of giving in the beginning of the reading as well. Like you're kind of in this liminal space, but not stepping through the other side yet to be reborn. Again, caught in the sort of in between right now. Like you want to move forward, and you're trying to find ways to do that. I feel like with that earthworm energy, but which is great. Please keep doing that, even if for now it is just to distract yourself. These connections also tend to push us into our higher purpose here. So if you are a divine feminine, you could resonate with being a light worker or somebody who, you know, wants to help the world in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, very interesting. I went to put this back, the deck, and we had healing sort of slid off the top of it. So healing, yes, releasing, purifying, and cleansing. All of this is meant to trigger your healing. I want you to keep that. Again, keep this in mind. It's not to punish you. It's not to make you feel bad about yourself. It's to trigger all of this so you can finally look at it and heal it. I have another little oracle deck here that I like to just kind of run through once and see if anything comes out. The messages on these cards, I can honestly take or leave them, but I feel like like desire, like these messages sort of are whatever for me, but I feel like desire is probably a core, theme that is happening here. So, we looked at it here. So I feel like there is, with all this clinging energy, this ecstasy, like there is desire still, kind of like you're clinging to this. There's still desire here between the two of you, or at least on your side. We will look at your person a little bit, but I like to focus my readings on you guys because I want to help you guys heal. And these connections are unbelievably tough. And trust me, I know it. I know it from personal experience, how tough these can be. But I also know how beautiful the growth and the healing is when you're finally able to kind of get to the other side of it. So it might take a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. Mine's been 2 years. Mine's been 2 years, and it's been a lot of back and forth. It's been a lot of stress for me too. I went through this running, chasing phase. Like, trust me, I get all of this. I understand all of this. But, standing on the other side of a lot of the healing, I mean, I still have healing to do. I don't think we ever stop needing to heal. But, I'm able to look at how much I've grown and how much I've been able to step into my own divine feminine energy. Starting this channel, that's part of me stepping into my own life purpose as well. So, these connections trigger growth and change for the best for you, or for you to step into the best version of yourself. But yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna go through these once, see anything that comes out. This is like career and love, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Let's see what comes out for our Cancers, please, Spirit. Anything that wants to come out for our Cancers. And if nothing comes out, then nothing. We have planning. That makes me think it's connected to that earthworm energy. Wealth. So you could be focusing on your wealth and building something, starting that side passion project. All right. So we have planning and wealth. I'm not going to try to, force too many more to come out. But let's see what the messages say. Inspiration here is on the bottom. So you are in a phase of great inspiration. Makes me think of the horse. Every aspect of your work feels exciting and creativity flows effortlessly. So if you are kind of starting something new, again with that earthworm energy, it could be something that's actually really inspiring you but to grow and take action. And maybe that whatever you're working on is your light work path, whatever it is, whatever brings you joy. But I do see some planning and, wealth coming your way, or you're planning on how to invest in and grow your own wealth. Maybe you're planning on starting a business. You're definitely inspired to take action on something here. Let's read the messages again. Take it if it resonates. So you have a clear career plan and are making steady progress toward your goals. Yay! Each step is carefully thought out. So you got a plan. And then wealth. Wealth is not just about money. Ooh. It represents abundance in all areas of life. You are in a phase of prosperity and contentment. Or you're working your way to a phase and an era of wealth and prosperity. So that's beautiful. And if you're doing this to help distract you from this, don't even worry about it. Because again, I feel like all of this happened to trigger this. Again, so you can step into this. There are no coincidences. It's all connected. It's all connected. All right, friends, we're going to move to tarot. And I'm going to use the, what is this? The Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krans. She also made these two decks. I love her work. But I was drawn to this deck because, again, I got that imagery of you guys fighting for your lives. And this deck sort of has a bit of a darker tone to it. I mean, the images are beautiful in general, but I believe I read that the artist was depressed herself when she was kind of going through creating this deck. So I felt like whatever was going to come out might resonate, with you guys in a more profound way. But anyway, so let's just look in the middle. Let's see, let's cut. Well, on the bottom, again, remember I shuffled all of these cards. But we have the Seven of Swords. So this is sneaky behavior. This is, lying, deception, cheating. So this person could have lied to you or deceived you in some way, shape, or form. And we also have the Daughter of Swords, which in this deck is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is connecting the dots mentally. So I feel like maybe you had some sort of intuitive knowing that this person wasn't being honest, or maybe you found out in some way, shape, or form. Page of Swords also makes me think of like social media. So maybe you could have seen something on social media about maybe this person was, talking to you, but you saw and found out that they were talking with somebody else through social media, or they posted like their significant other on their story or something like that, and you realized, you connected the dots that this person had been dishonest with you in some way, shape, or form. Let's see what comes out in the middle here. We have the Magician. So again, with all of this planning and wealth, with that earthworm here, I feel like this energy inspired you to take action in your own life with the Magician, and take steps to manifest the life you want for yourself. The cheetah, we saw it. Now the cheetah is here too. Divine masculine energy, taking action. Ones are all about taking action. And the core message of the Magician for me is that you have all of the tools that you need at your disposal to manifest something great. So don't doubt yourself. Don't let that earthworm energy overtake your power and your agency to take control of your life, if that's what you're focusing on. But okay, thanks, Spirit. Can we go ahead and get a card for our Cancer's energy, our Cancer viewers' energy? Let's get a card for our Cancer viewers' energy right now when it comes to this connection. Though we've already seen, you know, a lot of it, I feel. For our Cancer viewer. Card for our Cancer viewers' energy, please, Spirit. Very specific card wants to come out, clearly. Whoop! And there she is. Oh, we got two. We got the Sun. So clarity, focusing on your own happiness. Ooh, and the Four of Cups. So, Four of Cups is all about kind of dwelling on what makes you unhappy, more or less. In the original Rider-Waite, there is a person sitting underneath a tree, and they look pretty, you know, discontent, upset, you know, just sad, and they're focusing on the Three Cups in front of them. But the universe, there's a hand offering a cup. It's the Ace of Cups. The universe is trying to offer them a new emotional beginning in some way, shape, or form. But this person is so focused on the cups in front of him that he's not happy about, that he can't even look up to notice that the universe is trying to gift him something else. So I feel like there is a part of you that is sort of like dwelling on the situation. But with the Sun here, I feel like you are starting to have clarity about the situation in general, but also about how you need to focus on what lights you up and what brings you joy. Because that's what the Sun is all about. It's the happiest card in the deck, honestly. And if it wasn't for all of this other stuff going on, I would think, wow, you know, maybe you're entering a joyful and abundant phase of your life. I feel like you are ultimately, so please don't take that any sort of which way. I think you are entering a happy, joyful phase of your life, but I feel like you just kind of have to get through all of this hullabaloo before you can kind of enjoy the fruits of your labors. But again, I feel like you're having clarity around this, even if you are sort of still kind of ruminating over this connection. Maybe you feel like an intuitive bond with this person, an intuitive connection with this moon here. But yeah, having clarity around what's going to bring you your ultimate joy and happiness. All right, you know, let's look at your person's energy. I do want to see, I'm curious, I'm nosy, and I'm sure you're curious a little bit too, if you guys are in a no contact situation. So can we look at their person's energy, our Cancer viewer's person, please, Spirit? What is their energy right now when it comes to this connection? How are they feeling? Our Cancer viewer's person, how are they feeling? Our Cancer viewer's person, their feelings right now. Whoops. Did you want to come out? No. Okay. Oops, there we go. 2 cards. Oh, interesting. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Chariot. So for your person's energy, which is interesting, I want to feel called to say, if you don't resonate with this side, then this could be your energy, especially because it matches here. Or this could be a sign, if you guys are in a twin flame connection, that you guys are mirroring one another. That happens a lot in twin flame connections too. If you don't know about that, look it up. But right now, with this Queen of Pentacles and the Chariot, I feel like your person is also, again, mirroring your energy. They're trying to move forward, and I feel like they're trying to focus on their own stability here with the Queen of Pentacles. They could be a parent. There could be a child involved. They could have children. The Queen of Pentacles is a great mother, honestly. And again, you know, I'm not trying to gender anybody. A great parent. but your person could be a parent. Maybe that was something that kind of got in the way of this connection. But it seems like your person, you know, is trying to move forward as well here. Running. Look how this card, see, your horse is kind of stable and flowing and like not chasing anymore, or at the moment. But this chariot, this horse is running. And look, oh my goodness. So this was your energy, remember, that came out. My crystal. And this is your person's energy. Can you look at, can you guys see the contrast here? You guys are like literally mirrors of one another. This horse is black, this one is white. This moon is yellow, this one is black, and they're also, their crescents are also facing the opposite way. That's amazing. But yeah, this horse is on the run. You see that? So, runner energy. Trying to overcome obstacles in their own life, perhaps. But yeah, with this Queen of Pentacles, I feel like they're focusing, or they're trying to focus very much on their own kind of inner sense of stability here. So if this connection really triggered them to run, if they're emotionally avoidant in some way, it makes sense they would try to find their center again. For them, that happens by running. For avoidance, for divine masculines. If again, you resonate with the twin flame label. But that's fascinating. I'm glad I noticed that imagery here. But yeah, they're mirrors of one another. So yeah, I feel like your person is on the run in order to find a sense of stability in themselves. It only works for them for so long. I'll be honest about that. Because it's a cycle. And maybe you have already been in a cycle with this person. But if not, let me be the first to tell you that if this is a twin flame connection, karmic tie, with that vow card we saw earlier too, you know, there are cycles that repeat. With my person, I've gone through about 8, 9, 50, 11 cycles. My person would leave, they would come back, and, you know, the process would start all over again. So, you know, let this person run. Let them run. Use this time to focus on you. Focus on your happiness. Clarity about your purpose. I know you're still ruminating, and it's okay to. But try to change your focus. That's also the message of the Four of Cups here. Okay, let's see here. What is the connecting energy between these two? What is the connecting energy between our Cancer viewer and their person? Ooh! One fell on the floor. So we have the Son of Cups and Death. So in this deck, the Son of Cups is the Knight of Cups. No, whoops. Is the Page of Cups. Wait, no, I'm wrong. It's the Knight of Cups. The Son and Daughter kind of throws me off sometimes, but this is the Knight of Cups. So I feel like, you know, there was a strong emotional, intuitive connection between you guys. A lot of like, maybe a little dreamy type of energy. Like maybe you felt kind of like on cloud 9 with this person. Maybe you thought this person was like your knight in shining armor. Or your queen, whatever, take it how it resonates. But yeah, a sense, an intuitive connection, you know, there was love here. But with death, you know, again, this is an ending, of course, but this is the end of one thing in order to make room for something else. But when I see this card, I always see how this bird has been sort of like stripped dry, pretty much, of everything that he was before. And I feel like that's what's happening apparently to both of you right now in this connection. An ending to make way for a new beginning for both of you. I feel like you guys, it seems like you guys are sort of at the start of this journey. But it's triggering your transformation. Both of your guys' transformation. But clearly this person is still on the run. Okay, let's see. So, what is this person's next actions toward our Cancer? What is our Cancer person's, or their person's, what is their next actions towards them, if any? Let's see. Next actions toward our Cancer viewer from this person, from their person. Okay, so we got two cards here. We got the Queen of Wands and we have the Six of Swords. So, I feel like, you know, the more and more you step into this divine feminine energy, as you step more into your purpose, you know, keep exploring that creative passion project, you're going to become powerful and magnetic. The Queen of Wands is magnetic. People are just drawn to her. They can't help it because she's so in her power. She knows who she is. She doesn't care what other people think. And she's passionate, she's courageous, she's charismatic. I feel like once you get past this initial phase, this is going to be where you're at. And that's going to draw this person back to you. You got twin flames are like magnets that way. So once you finally get to a good place, I feel like this person is going to try to come in and, you know, heal the situation, try to move into calmer waters, like cleanse. They're going to try to cleanse the situation and see if you guys can move forward. I feel like also with the Queen of Wands here, I feel like once they're feeling more confident and secure again in themselves, because the queens are internal energy, our internal landscape. Once this person is feeling confident in themselves again, they're going to want to come forward and try to move things forward, try to move into calmer waters, or again cleanse these, what I imagine to be bloody swords, from all of this. So it seems like their next actions towards you, they are going to want to try to move things forward once they're feeling in a more confident energy. We have the Daughter of Cups, which is the Page of Cups in this deck. I feel like they may also try to come forward with and offer an apology. The Page of Cups is my card of apology. So let's see what's coming next in the connection. What's coming next in the connection? This is what this person's gonna do, but what's next for the connection in general? Please, Spirit, for our Cancers. What's coming next in this connection? The Lovers. I mean, how much clearer can you get? This is also twin flame energy. But, so what's coming next in this connection is a chance for you guys to come back together and try to make this work. Because I feel like this person does kind of see you, maybe you see them as well, as your divine counterpart. These birds mate for life. But I feel like this is not going to happen until both of you take the time to heal yourselves. Cycles are a huge part of this type of journey. I'm just going to lay that out there. So if this person comes back and they're not offering you what you know you need Do not take them back. I've made that mistake 7, 8, 9, 50, 11 times. And all it does is keep you stuck in that loop, because eventually they're going to get triggered again and they're going to run again. So if this person comes back, when this person comes back, because they're going to try to eventually, it's important for you to stand strong in your boundaries. We've talked about it. Know what you will and you won't accept. And it's so easy, especially if you're still kind of in this wounded feminine energy when they come in, to accept less than you deserve from them because you're just so happy that they came back. But don't fall for it. Unless they show you real, tangible proof that they've changed and that they're willing to actually put the work into this. The Lovers is a connection that's not easy. It involves making a choice to commit to the relationship. I know you probably don't have much of an issue with that, my Cancer baby. But this person clearly does have commitment issues. Even if the vibes are off the charts. So yeah, just be wary. That's all I want to say. Clearly this is a strong connection, a soul tie, a karmic link, twin flame, yada yada. I get it. I do get it. But again, this journey and, you know, connections in general, they're meant to teach you again about yourself. The end goal, the prize is not the other person. The prize is who you become through the pain and the struggle and the triggers and the challenges and the childhood wounding and overcoming all of that. That's the power in this. So I just want you to remember that, please, Cancer. All right. Now I want to pull a card of advice for you. It's going to be the last card from Tarot. I want to pull another card of advice, one final piece of advice for you guys from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And I will leave it there. If you guys made it this far, I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you like my style, if you like this reading, if it resonated for you, and again, you made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing and commenting. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to, you know, connect more with you. And, you know, the more you guys engage, the more I can tap into your energy. So yeah, like and subscribe, please. All right, friends, I'm gonna let's get a card of advice from Tarot, please, for our Cancer viewer. Card of advice, please, for our Cancers. Card of advice, please, Spirit. Card of advice for our Cancers. Seven of Wands. What was I just saying about boundaries? Seven of Wands is holding your ground. And, my goodness, okay, so a lot of intuitive things I'm getting from this. So, when I see a lot of black and white imagery on a card, white, I think of the divine feminine, and black, I think of the divine masculine. You know, yin and yang kind of vibes. I see, excuse me, I see this black stick. Shut up. But I see this stick and there's like this flame, this fire, and look at all of these feminine sticks, these white colored sticks, you know, they are attracted to that light. It almost looks like they want to beat it up. But it's like, these are your boundaries, and clearly a flame burns for this person. But if they come back, it's important that you maintain your boundaries. It's important that you stand your ground and not accept less than you deserve from this person or from anybody else. Don't accept less than you deserve. Don't let this person back in unless they have shown that they've changed and that they're ready to move into calmer waters, but that they have the maturity to do so. But it's important that you hold strong in your boundaries and, you know, follow your own light too. Again, with the sun, you know, follow what lights you up. because, you know, a person can't be your everything. I know you guys as Cancers are very romantic. You love to take care. You love to be in relationships. So I feel like this is a hard lesson for you guys to learn, especially if you feel like, you know, you're an overgiver in relationships. But hold strong in your boundaries. Know your worth. Know what you will and you won't stand for. So that's your advice. Hold your ground. Don't give in if this person comes back and you see they haven't changed. I know it's easier said than done. I know it is. But that's what's going to help you continue to learn and grow and expand and, again, step into your divine feminine power, your Empress energy. I don't chase, I attract. I know my worth, and I will not accept less than I deserve. Boundaries. Okay, my beautiful friends. One more card of advice for you all from this Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Thank you, Spirit. One more final piece of advice, please, for our Cancer viewer. Whatever they need to know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Piece of advice, please, for our Cancers. Specific card wants to come out. Let's try it again. Card of advice, please, Spirit, for our Cancers. Card of advice, please, for our Cancers. Deep knowing. Ooh. So, you know, just off the bat, I feel like you guys are just very intuitive creatures. I feel like you have some sort of deep knowing about this connection. Maybe you feel just like this deep soul tie with this person. Oh my goodness. I want to adjust the light. I don't know why it's doing this. I feel like you have a deep intuitive connection with this person. Maybe you know that they are something special to you in a soul sense. But let me grab the book. This is 43, so 4 plus 3 is 7. We just got the 7 of Wands. Are no accidents. Let me grab the book. And this is Emperor and Empress energy. 4 is the Emperor and 3 is the Empress. Those two are divine counterparts. Twin flames. Anyway, 43. So I'll read the general message here, and then since this is a love reading, I'm going to also read the love message. But let's start. So the essential meanings here of deep knowing are intuition, listening to the oracle within, High Priestess energy, empathy, which is, you know, a core trait of you guys as Cancers, and hypersensitivity, also in a way, a trait of you beautiful Cancerians. But the oracle's message here is, intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into a dialogue with Source, the consciousness that you are a part of but cannot see with the naked eye. It's perplexing that people are taught to ignore this natural capacity to navigate their journeys, to access their inner guidance. Know that you have an ability to read between the lines and find all the truth that was missing when the story was told. This deep knowing allows you to open the door to wisdom far greater than what is available in the limitations of human experience. You're given information that may make no sense whatsoever to the logical mind or 5 senses, but which is 100% correct and true. The trick is to listen and then to act accordingly. This makes me think of that Knight of Cups energy when I was talking about intuition. You're now invited into the sacred dialogue of deep knowing. So tune in and trust your vibes. They will be right. Ask and you will receive answers from unusual sources. And then the relationship message here is there are occasions when you just know deep in your heart and soul that a person is going to play a meaningful role in your life. What's this whole reading? Someone crosses your path and suddenly, out of the blue, you're connected at a level impossible to describe. That feeling marks a moment in time etched indelibly onto your soul. Excuse me. Someone has entered your life who will be instrumental in your journey. Oh! Sorry. So pay attention. Two hearts are calling to each other to begin an alchemical process. To grow and change and evolve and shed your wounds and step into your divine feminine and hopefully them their divine masculine power. Tarot's so magical, y'all. This is also a sign that your intuition about the person you care about is correct. Trust your heart to lead you now. Magic is about to happen. I am feeling I'm feeling called to read, there we go, the protection message here for you too. So, you are in empathy overload and need to get grounded again. So tune out for a bit. Tune out of this connection for a bit. Focus on, again, whatever project is calling to you, whatever, your mission, light work, whatever your soul is calling you to do. Take a break from this connection, take a break from the drama, continue to heal, but take a step back for a second, withdraw your energy and put it back to yourself. Hypersensitive. You're suffering from psychic exhaustion. This signals a time for recharging of your batteries. Set energetic boundaries. I'm so sorry. Set energetic boundaries, take a salt bath, empty your mind, and get back to you. It's not a time to be too open. Soon enough, you can let your guard down. Right now, you need self-care and self-love. My mind is exploding. I've said all this. Okay. It's time to say no thank you to anyone in your life that exhausts you. Won't that feel good? Won't it feel good, Cancer? I know it will. I know it does. Again, from personal experience. But yeah, wow, what a beautiful, powerful reading. I hope this helped you guys. I am so grateful for you. And yeah, I'm sending you guys lots of love for this phase of the journey. I know it is so difficult, but you guys are strong, and you guys, this wouldn't happen if it wasn't meant to happen. There are no accidents. You were meant to meet this person. You were meant to trigger each other so you guys could step into the highest version of yourselves. That's what this is about. So, trust your intuition. Follow your path. If you guys are meant to be, you guys will be. It's a love that's not easy necessarily, but if you guys can both heal enough, then maybe you guys can come back together one day and give this another shot. But for now, withdraw your energy, focus on yourself, focus on your passion projects, and focus on self-care and healing and, taking care of yourself. But yeah, that's your reading, my friends. I'm going to leave it here. I love you so much. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and we will see you in the next one. All right. Take care. Bye.